What's going on, y'all? I'm KMBest. I'm joined by YoWoody. You can find him on Twitch at that tag YoWoodyMJ, and he is here to talk about his, I guess you'd call it an innovative Silver Surfer list, because most Silver Surfer lists in the past have been brood decks. They're very focused on going wide, and this list is focused a lot more on the move cards and in how they allow you to control your opponent's game, while of course playing with Werewolf by Night. So, Woody, welcome to the show. Anything on a base level you want to touch on that you think people might miss about this deck, just first glance?
Um, yeah. I mean, honestly, the common first, uh, I don't know how you'd say, but like what people initially think when they first see the deck
Mhm.
is, I mean, you thought it. Lambie said the same thing when I like after he saw my deck. He was talking about it when I made top four in the tournament. With it was like, it looks like it doesn't put enough stats on the board to
Mhm.
win. And I feel like that just comes from a place of like so many different decks are doing so many crazy things right now, and like people are making like 16 power Darkhawks and 10 plus power collectors and discounting all their cards, and or just like if it's not that, it's like Phoenix Force or some
Yeah.
crazy combo deck. And this is more like a mid-range deck, but I mean the cards that you play in this deck are like either above rate or they are they're getting buffed by Surfer. It's a Surfer deck. A lot of
Yeah.
times people look at the deck and they look at the cards like Juggernaut or Killmonger is a 3/3, or Polaris is a 3/5, but buffing them with Surfer, I mean, it is at heart a Surfer list. He is your big power swing. He facilitates stuff with like Werewolf and stuff, but the main takeaway that I would tell people is like when you first look at the deck, it might look like it can't put a lot of power on the board, but it just takes more like finesse and like precision power placement and less like you're overpowering your opponent in every single lane.
Yeah, so I want to give a couple specific examples, and I'm going to drill down on four cards specifically that I think are extremely key to the deck. Three of them are key in the same way, one of them is key in a completely different way. Those are Juggernaut, Polaris, Spider Man, and the one that is not key in the same way is, of course, Shadow King, without whom I honestly doubt the deck would be playable. Shadow King is
Yeah.
like. Shadow King carries so many archetypes right now into Loki werewolf decks where it's like if
Yeah.
that card didn't exist at its current cost and power, so many decks would be dead in the water. And this is like every mid range deck that is not doing that, it has to have Shadow King. So Shadow King, obviously, like phenomenal here, right? Like that is without question. But the other three, I think, are a little bit more confusing to people when you look at them. But fundamentally, this deck, when I play it, there are so many games where I just like brick someone's lane with those cards. And that,
Yeah.
like, tell me a little bit about the bricking your opponent's lane capacity that this has.
Yeah, I mean, specifically against decks like Bounce or Loki or something even uh less common like C3, even Polaris and Spider-Man, and like all the movement disruption cards can be really strong into Loki. It's like free. Like Polaris,
Yeah.
if anybody watched my tournament run, Polaris is literally the go in the Loki matchup. Like you can stack their Shadow Kingable cards, you can just brick their lanes. Like if they're not playing, there's this one game I was playing where this guy subbed Carnage over Falcon, and I just kept
Ooh.
capping his lanes every game, capping his lanes.
Ooh.
Spider-Man, Polaris, like he could not do anything. And it's like the thing about this deck's kind of unique flavor of disruption is it's actually like a lot higher cube equity than something like the disruption of, because I look at this deck as kind of like a mid-range, it's like a mid-range Surfer list,
Mhm.
and its disruption is kind of like running a parallel to the disruption of something like a Darkhawk list, where it's like you disrupt your opponent in a way that accelerates your game plan with Craven and Werewolf by Night with these on reveals, but it's like a lot higher cube equity because you can see it coming. You know when your disruption is going to fuck up your opponent, and they don't. It's like the opposite of Darkhawk, where it's like you put rocks in their deck, you
Yes.
can kind of feel, that they're not playing out their ideal curve, but it's so much easier to snap with in this deck and to get more cubes with because you can see it happening, and almost always takes your opponent by surprise.
So the counter argument there is it requires some aggressive snaps, right? Like you can't be running into this thinking like, all right, well, I'm gonna brick their lane, but what if they falcon me? You still have to snap it, right? Because it's like, okay, what if
Yes.
they falcon me? Like I still snap this because I could brick their lane, and if they don't have falcon, they're just leaving if I snap it later. So talk a little about the mentality that you need to have when you play this list, because I feel like you need to snap very aggressively on non-public information, like your lane is about to be clogged.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you have like snapping engines in this list where I would say like there are certain lists where it's like you have a comfort hand. Like this list is like you have, like Snow Guard on one into a 2-drop, Wolf 3-drop, 1-drop. Like that's just like a comfort snap. Like I'm feeling good. I have an ideal curve. But then there are like snapping engines, and this deck's snapping engines are obviously your aggressive tech cards, Shadow King and Killmonger, but also Juggernaut, Polaris, and Spider-Man. And with Polaris and Spider-Man in particular, like you said, you really do have to be aggressive with your snaps because there are so many times where I'm playing this deck and I'm playing it kind of timidly, and then I play Spider-Man in a way where I think it might fuck my opponent over, but I'm not sure. And then after I play it, I'm like, well, yeah, it just fucked him so badly. I had to snap now, and a lot of times it's in a way where it's like they don't even want to stay if you don't snap. Like they're just out. But you have to. It's all about like identifying matchups early, identifying where they want to play their cards, and like having the foresight to know like yeah, my move disrupt is going to be big here. I'm going to snap before I play it. Like you just have to it mainly comes down to matchup identification because a lot of the times it's like moving destroy cards it can be impactful. It can also not really be because they can just destroy that lane later. But like moving, like I said, like a Loki player's cards around or like a Cerebro player's cards into like a bad lane or pulling the Invisible Woman out of their Invisible Woman lane or like the same thing with like a Hela deck or something like that. So it just comes down to mainly matchup recognition and like you get that over time. Like you'll remember last time you fucked over the Hela deck with Polaris, or remember the last time you capped out the Loki deck with Spider-Man, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the one drops for just a bit because I think a lot of people will look at this and they'll say, one of two things: replacement for Spider Ham and replacement for Snow Guard. That's going to be a question you're going to get a lot. And so I think it's useful to discuss the roles each of them play in here. Snowguard, I know, is the one that it's very safe to play on one. You're definitely doing that. Whereas Spider Ham is a card you're saving until four. So my question would be, do you have any replacement ideas for the people that I know are going to ask this? Or is it just like these are the only guys that do what they do because you need specifically cards that meet the criteria of on reveal and also good on 1 and 4?
Okay, so with Snowguard in particular, I I honestly don't. This deck gets a lot worse without Snowguard. Snowguard
Yeah.
is a card that you can comfortably play on turn 1, 2, or 4.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the best Snow Guard turns, and she is literally like the card that wins you games in so many matchups, like Hella Tribunal, She-Hulk Infinite, like matchups that want to play Magic, or she can help you break into a Storm lane or a Lockdown lane, like if there's a Crimson Cosmos, because this deck wants a lot of board space, so she can kind of be like your budget Sera, where it's like you're not playing Sera, but you're opening up board space with the Snow Guard Hawk, and she just gives you like crazy scam potential with the bear sometimes too. Snowguard is I don't know if there's a good replacement for Snowguard, honestly. Uh Honestly, if I were to start somewhere, it would probably be not a 1-drop, maybe another 3-drop, like uh like Rogue or Mobius, some
Yeah, just
non-unrevealed
like
3-drop that
you don't have the option to replace her with anything comparable at her cost. It's not a thing that
yeah,
exists.
yeah.
And what about the
And
ham?
then if I were to start, I mean, Spider Ham is more easily replaceable. I think he's the same thing with Snowguard. Where, like he can scam you games. He's good for information. He's good because you don't mind killmongering him. He moves the wolf, but there are other cards that can do that, or something close to as valuable. Although I do think Spider Ham is insanely good right now.
Yeah, so like,
But
would it
you
be
could
like
try
what, like
out.
Iceman or something?
Yeah,
Could you do that?
Iceman would be my first go-to replacement
Okay.
for Ham probably, and then maybe with like you could try Forge. You don't mind killmongering him. He moves the wolf,
Yeah,
and he could also be good with the new card that's coming out too.
we're gonna get to him. What about the hood? Like, could we ever play the hood here? Just it's a guy, and then sometimes we blow it up with our own Killmonger. Is that too egregious? Like, if you had neither Snowguard nor Spider-Ham, you could play like Hood Forge, and then be a little sad, but not very sad.
I mean, I don't think the hood is too bad of a suggestion. It does make you kind of like it hurts your ability to stay on your opponent's snaps because it's kind of like if you play Snow Guard and they snap you and you don't have X card in hand, you're
Right.
just evaluating your current hand. But like if you play the hood, you have to like be like, I don't even have Killmonger in hand. Like I just played this.
Yeah.
My one way of getting rid of it is not in my hand. But it is good because a lot of times if you Sera, you want to play like Shadow King, Craven, or Jeff on 6. So it's nice to have like another filler for like 2-drop, 1-drop, 3-drop, 3-drop.
Yeah.
So it could be good. I haven't tried
So
it, but it
yeah,
wouldn't be terrible.
I'm just spitballing because I know we're gonna get questions like that. I know we're also gonna get questions like, can I replace Werewolf by Night? And I think we just categorically no, we can't do that. This is a Werewolf Surfer deck. He's your big guy. That's what he does. I do want to talk about Sera though, because right now she is relatively uncontested. Your loss in the top 4 came at the hands of literally the only guy I've ever seen playing Mobius, and that sort of does have a negative impact. But like the fact that Mobius is not very good means that Sera can be good again. And the fact that Sera can be good again, and also interestingly enough, the fact that like the best tech card in the game right now, Shadow King, only costs 2, sort of incentivizes you to play a little bit more surfery as opposed to like the typical hit monkey type decks because Shadow King, I don't know if you guys knew this, but it kills your own Mysterio, which is very depressing. And B, the surfer stuff lets you play wolf and scales with that as well. So you get to be like a hybrid between the reactive type Sera decks and the like proactive bounce decks that are running around right now. So Sera herself, her role in the deck is pretty clear. Do you think this is like what you would call a Sera deck? You have her on 5, you play her on 5, that's what you do. Are there any situations in which that isn't true?
Okay, so for the most part, I would say, yeah, like there are very few exceptions, but for the most part, the reason I really like Sarah in the list, and I, for the most part, always play her on 5 if I have her on 5, unless it's lockdown. That's like the only caveat because Sarah on 5 sucks shit in the lockdown.
Okay.
But
Why?
if it's not, it just sucks in a lockdown because if they storm one lane, Professor X another lane, and you're Seraing on the X
Right.
turn,
And then they just Goliath you because they have Bryo and yeah.
yes, exactly. You're
But like
never
it's worth
getting
going through. It's
priority.
like
You
we
just
got to
need
talk
to
about it.
accomplish something on turn
Yeah.
5.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if it's not lockdown though, there are so many cards in this deck that you want to keep in your hand until turn 6. You want to keep Surfer in your hand, you want to keep Juggernaut in your hand, you want to keep Killmonger in your hand sometimes, you want to keep Shadow King in your hand sometimes, and a lot of the time you want to keep the Snowguard Hawk in your hand on 6 too. So that's another reason, like it's just nice to have something to play on 5 while you're holding all of your really good stuff. You're not showing your opponent what you're going to do. It gives you more flexibility on 6. You don't have to like commit, like early commit to anything. Like, oh fuck, I just Killmongered his demon and then he bounced his, or I try to Killmonger his hood and then he bounced his demon and whatever. Like it gives you more flexibility. But then another reason that I really like Sarah in this list is because Craven and Werewolf by Night can get really big on turn 6, and it makes them extremely hard for your opponent. Specifically, like if a Loki steals your Shadow King, it makes it really hard for your opponent to hit your stuff with tech cards because you're dropping Prio and then buffing your engines a lot on 6 instead of 5. So it's really good for that reason too.
So I want to do a thing with this where I suggest like your ideal curve, and then you correct me if I've gotten anything wrong. So it's like turn one Snow Guard, turn two Craven, turn three Wolf, turn four pretty much any like non turn six 3 cost card plus a Spider Ham, and by non turn six 3 cost I mean like Spider Man, Polaris. Those tend to be the ones that you're looking for. But even a Killmonger, if they're not going to
Hmm.
be someone you can get a lot of value out of, you do that just to get the werewolf moving around. Turn 5, you Sera. Turn 6, you play the cards that you want to play on turn 6, stuff like Juggernaut to win a lane, stuff like your Silver Surfer, of course, etc. Is there anything missing in that, or is that pretty much just what you want to do?
Yeah, that is your general game plan against i- like let's say you're playing a mirror match. That's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to
Yeah.
do that and hope that your opponent is doing it worse than you.
Okay, specific question then.
Hmm.
It's turn 1. You have in hand Craven, Werewolf, Snowguard, Spider Man. Are you snow guarding on turn 1, or are you snow guarding on turn 4?
I would Snow Guard on turn one. If I
Okay.
don't have Sarah, or sorry, I would hold Snow Guard. If I would
That's
Snow
what I
Guard
thought.
on
I was like,
turn
oh, okay,
one.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
my bad. I would hold Snow Guard on turn one if I do not have Sarah in hand. But if I did have Sarah in hand, I would Snow Guard on one because I think it's really important to get your auras in your hand, or what do they call auroras, whatever the fuck they're called, in your hand, the hawk and the bear in your hand,
Yes.
before you play Sarah and before turn 5, because a lot of locations you want to turn off on turn 5.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I gotta say, yeah, I was a little surprised when you were like, you would play it. I was like, really? I thought you'd want the value off the werewolf, but like, I guess he knows something that I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So hold on. I just forgot what I was gonna ask. I'm leaving this in. No, I had a great question. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember.
Okay.
We talked a lot about this list as it is right now, but there is a card coming out in the near future that could be really important for this kind of
Mhm.
mid range type surfer deck, and that is Sebastian Shaw, a 3/4 who gets 2 power every time he gains power. So, what do you think the role of Sebastian Shaw could be in this deck? Do you think we could fit cards like Nakia and Okoye in it in order to, help him out? And how much would having a second giant dude alongside Werewolf help this deck win?
So, first of all, with Sebastian Shaw, as he is data mined to release now, if
Mm-hmm.
you hit him with Surfer one time,
That's a 3
he's
8.
he's 8 power,
Yeah.
yeah, which is fucking insane.
That's a pretty good
So,
card, yeah.
yeah. So, my first instinct would to be to fit Forge in the deck. I think
Okay.
Forge would make him like I think that's all the support you would need for him. But
You just want to go like, so it's like what, you forge him, then you surfer him, and he's like, what, a 3/12? Well, I mean, not a 3
yes.
cell because you spent like 7 energy on it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and Surfer is hitting other guys too. But
Yeah.
also the you're saying the impact of having like another big card with Werewolf in
Yes.
this deck, it would be like massive for this deck. There are so many times where you just have to like your only threat on the board is really Werewolf, and you just have to kind of you have to scam a lot of the times. You have to scam with either Juggernaut, your Shadow King, or
The move
your
package. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, your disruption or tech cards. You have to scam like that and then win another lane with Werewolf. But if you had Sebastian Shaw, it would help matchups like the one that I lost to, where there's nothing for me to scam. He's playing Doctor Doom, he's playing Miss
Yeah.
Marvel, he's playing these big cards like he's got Darkhawk Mystique, so it's hard for me to keep up with his mid-range game plan because I can't really interact with him, and he's playing, Mobius, which fucks my Sera. So if there's another like on-board threat that they have to like think about and deal with, if they can't or if they can circumnavigate your scam cards, I feel like it just gives this list so much better like leverage than it would otherwise have in terms of being able to beat like bigger mid-range decks like the Blaster Hawk deck. It would
Yeah.
elevate it to like that kind of like big mid-range, I think.
So I think my worry would be like, okay, so first of all, we cut like Spider Ham for Forge. We cut what? Like, what are we cutting for Shaw here? The list looks tight. And once you start cutting into like the vaguely replaceable cards, like Killmonger, which is not really replaceable, but Polaris, Spider-Man cards we've been singing the praises of, Juggernaut, stuff like that, you end up losing value on the Craven too. And so you end up getting in this situation where it's like this whole move sub theme might be under threat. Because I can tell you the cards we're not cutting, right? It's Snowguard. We're never cutting Snowguard. We're never cutting Silver Surfer. We're never cutting Shadow King. We're never cutting Werewolf. We're never cutting Sera, right? And so you end up with the move package as the potential cut. And I kind of wonder if, like, what we end up trying to do is instead of the move package, we do a little hand buff thing. Like, instead of, the Craven thing, because we have another big guy now, it would be you could actually fit in that Okoye there. You might not go as far as Nakia, because then I think you're in a range where you want to be a Brood deck again, and that's hard to do with the Werewolf, but, like, it is definitely interesting. I wonder if this deck will be the right place to run Shaw, or the full hand buff Nakia Brood type no Werewolf thing ends up overcoming it. What thoughts do you have on that?
So what you were saying, like the move sub theme being under threat, I definitely, that was like the first thought I had. I was actually just like brewing in my mind earlier while I was working, like where does Sebastian fit in this deck? Does he fit in this deck? What changes would I need to make? And I came to the same conclusion, which is like the move stuff definitely gets like that is what keeps the deck such a tight list right now, is like you have to have the move cards with Craven, and if you cut a move card, Craven gets worse. So I was initially thinking that Craven was the cut for Sebastian. Like, Craven is kind of, he's one of your big dudes in this list, but most of the time your Craven's getting up to like 6, maybe 8 if you're like, you hit your Spider-Man in the Craven lane, and then you don't end up needing to Shadow King that lane, and you move your Jeff there and stuff like that. So Craven
Are you
is good in this
comfortable?
list.
Right, but like,
Yeah,
are you
that's the
comfortable with
thing.
only Jeff as the two? Like, because you're never playing a Shadow King on two unless you 100% know he's doing nothing. And so it's
Yeah.
like it's just an odd situation. I feel like, because of the Silver Surfer's restriction and this list wanting to be like this as opposed to a hand buff list because of the power of Polaris and Spider-Man and stuff like that. I do think that like Surfer is going to be the place I start experimenting with Shaw for sure. And like, this is the best Surfer deck right now, but I'm almost wondering if he is strong enough on his own to make like a Brood Nakia one better. I kind of wonder. Of course, that whole deck is like a giant kick me sign because Shadow King
Yes.
exists, but like, like, it is, there is that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like where I imagine this deck and the Sebastian Surfer deck kind of ending up is like in the finals of that tournament that I called in with this deck. It was KX's Hawk list, right,
Yeah,
versus the Blaster Hawk list. Blaster Hawk is just like, I am doing big mid-range stuff with
yeah,
no
it was
tech cards, and
unbeatable in that
then
matchup. Absolutely
yes.
unbeatable in the matchup because the bigger mid range deck always wins.
Yes, exactly. So that's kind of what I fear this deck turning into, is like the KX list, where it's like,
Where it's like better in the context of the meta, but if you ever run into Big Brother, he bullies you.
yes, because he's just doing his own thing. He plays Luke Cage, buffs the shit out of all of his cards, and
Yeah,
you just can't keep up.
yeah. I do think that like that Shaw deck is a big Luke Cage deck where it's like, because otherwise you have like
Yeah.
whole lanes completely eating it to Shadow
Yeah.
King. You just never,
Like,
you
pick
never
one, my
ever want to
Brood
see
lane,
that.
my Shaw
Yeah,
lane, my Werewolf lane.
they're like Nicoing cloned Shadow Kings, and
Yeah.
you're just crying yourself to sleep.
Uh,
Oh yeah, that's definitely how it's gonna be. All right, thank you so much for the interview. This is your time.
mhm.
Talk your shit. Shout yourself out.
Uh, I'm YoWoody MJ. If you guys want to catch me live on Twitch, I stream close to every day, not every day, but I'm trying to stream more consistently on twitch.tv/YoWoodyMJ. I'm always playing cool, kind of off meta brews like this deck. Uh, yeah, that's really all I'm doing right now. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at YoWoody2. I'm kind of trying to grow my Twitter a little bit just for getting affiliate purposes and stuff. But that's really all I got going on. Also, thank you for having me. This is super cool to be able to do, just show more people this deck and that it can, in fact, put up, a reasonable amount of stats, even though some other people have said that they disagree with that. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Wow. Do you want to name those other people? Call them out, bro. Call them out. Say
It
it.
was Lambie. Lambie
It
was
was
talking
Lambie.
mad shit
Lambie
about
was
this
like,
deck,
yo,
and they
this deck
couldn't put up
sucks. I think
stats.
this deck.
He said
Lambie
it
was like, yo,
sucked.
I think this deck is terrible, and you're just good.
Yeah,
That's-
I think the deck is really strong, and it can put up some monster stats.
I actually agree with you. Like, it's a deck that my first reaction was like, why is any of this happening? And then I played with it, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, this is good. Yeah, this is pretty good. I
Yeah.
was just like, I look at this like, can we cut every card for Loki? Like, can we-
Yeah.
So like it is. I will say this is a very confusing and I would say intricate deck to play. I think it is quite difficult.
Yeah.
So I will say that. But thank you so much, you and the audience, and of course, you, Woody, for sticking with us. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Ice chest of some kind. I haven't figured that one out yet, but it does seem necessary. Because otherwise I'm going to run out of ice. And this on ice is pretty solid. Is Kazar Zoo in the list of terrible experiments? It sure can be. It sure can be. Ooh. We're not going to ham here. We usually save ham for 4 in this deck. This is a 3. Ooh. Well, that's not good. Just play that guy out. No longer shangable on Nidavellir. So... Okay, it's a good thing I'm a Killmonger deck, because they were going to be like, yo, I'm getting his ass off this shit. It's a good thing I'm a Killmonger deck. Ooh. Interesting. You're playing the deck you made? You made this deck? Yo, got the abs, man. That's crazy. You made this deck? So that is an Annihilus. That's not an Annihilus. Well, that's actually kind of fascinating. Without that being Annihilus... How tempted am I? I feel like I'm pretty tempted to do this. Maybe that's dumb. Pull Juggernaut and then die. No? Pull Doc Ock to the Fisk Tower. No? Okay. Well, that's not great. Alright, so... Okay, they did not have the Annihilus. Otherwise, I was going to eat a ton of crap there. Sponsored to drink alcohol, KMBest is a shillionaire. This one goes out to you. I got a content warning for this stream. I put that there. I put that content warning there. I'm a responsible gamer. I drink a ton of water. I game responsibly. Now, you might think that when you drink a bunch of alcohol... Oh, God. Oh, God, no. Oh, God, yes. My parents aren't allowing me to watch you anymore. Damn. Your parents don't sound very cool. Because of your warning? How are you in here, then? Are you perhaps lying for clout on the internet? No one would ever do that. Of course not. I trust you. I'm a God-fearing man, KMBest. I bet. I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going at all. Here comes Annihilus. Oh. Never mind. I like where this is going again. Solid. Sick. Can't hate. I love where this is gone. I'm a huge fan of it. Damn, I crushed. Okay, so as I see it, thanks for the inspiration. Gonna do me black coffee with cognac. Oh my god, that's crazy. I love lying on the internet. Damn, I hate lying on the internet. That's why I never lie on the internet. I've never lied. This takes us to 14 over there. They go 13, so we should win it, even if they annihilate my ass. Even if they annihilate my ass, we should get there. Yep. Got him. Got him. I felt like I couldn't snap or they'd leave. I felt like if I snapped it, they would leave. They would get the hell out of here. Do clickbait thumbnails count as lying? No. Clickbait thumbnails count as morally correct. Sure, why not? Sure. Why not? Why would they? Sure. Let's go. That was an intriguing stay by them. It's why I didn't feel like I could snap. I just don't think they did the math on the right lane. They were like, fuck it, I've got Annihilus finally. Please be a 1-drop. Damn it. I don't have any... Oh. Haha. I love that. Is that a snap? I haven't seen a Shang-Chi out of them, but I wouldn't, right? Like, I wouldn't see a Shang-Chi out of them, because it's not like I give them any targets for it. And their deck does seem like the kind of deck that may play a Shang. Get out of here. Get jugged. Get absolutely jugged on. Play the Wolf out. Play the Sera, final turn. Bunch of stuff that moves. Whoa, they're snapping me. Okay, so they have a Shang. I cannot think of any other logical reasons for why you would do that. Good to know. That's why we didn't snap it. That's a big guy. Losing that is actually kind of bad. Okay. How do we win this? I'm not sure we can, unfortunately. So, they have 4 cards in hand. We can make a big werewolf, but I can't see a way to us also winning the middle. So, we are going to leave. We are going to leave. We're not gonna fall prey to the same mistake they made. But KM, this deck can't put out output power. This deck seems bad and not tournament viable. My deck or theirs? All right, so each of these is 2, which means it's time to update the counter. It'll be passively upticking the whole time. It'll be passively upticking the whole time. But we'll also have some events, some giveaways, that kind of thing. I don't think I'm a good throne room deck. They're the deck with all the 10 power shit in it. I'm not a very good deck about a throne room right now. I do like having a 6 power movable Jeff. Everyone loves movable Jeffrey. I tried a couple conquests of this and I gotta say, I'm bad. Damn. Hey, what are you drinking? Exclamation point, Howler. You will be able to know what I'm drinking. Oh, this is the wrong deck to play while I'm drinking, though. This is so wrong. This is such the wrong thing to play. There's too much thinking I have to do here. Fuck. Okay. Gin. Ham. No. No, 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 no. Craven Gin. Ham? You okay? I'm drunk stream. We're working on it. Yo, actually a drunk stream? Like I said, we're working on it. Oh god, I'm getting shanged, aren't I? I'm getting shanged, aren't I? I'm getting shanged. Wait, that's not a shang? Okay, yep. Planned around that one for sure. Let's see if we can convince him to play progressively worse decks. That's basically the entire point of this, I think. I'm fairly certain that's the whole point. Does this still count as costing 3? Well, they need, like, Shang's Sentry to beat me. I hope they don't have it. Pick a 0? Damn it. I hope they don't have Shang's Sentry. That would be bad for me. Because they very easily could beat my ass here. But I ain't leaving. I'm not leaving. We successfully, I believe, predicted their Annihilus. Okay, wait, that might be the one that we... So it's like Shang... Am I gonna lose because of by 1 point here? I'm gonna be upset if I do. Oh! Well, that play lost to me passing. You got it, buddy. That play for sure lost to me passing. I love when they snap and then make a play that loses to me passing. That's the dream. Rare Eliath brain case. When you say rare, you mean extremely common Eliath brain case? Opponent been drinking more? Hey, you never know. I should have done this in the reverse order, actually. This should have been reversed. All right, here's what's happening. Here's what's happening. It's going over here. Okay, so we absolutely do lose like hell to the card Annihilus. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. A little scary, but I'm playing it. Because we actually get our like some of our points back here, right? We go 15. Got him. Really strikes me about him is he seems like such an insanely smart dude. Because like you look at him and you're like, it's all like rainbow braids and like out of like personality out the ass, right? But then you think about it and you're like, okay, so that is just a correct identification of what you have to do to be a star in the modern era. He just absolutely knows exactly what he's, yes, 100%. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's like a guy, I just sort of feel like he studies a lot. Like he is someone that I feel puts a lot of effort both into his fights and into his promotion. And it is really legitimately kind of impressive to me. Like he is someone who I think is really cool. Sterling got done dirty? In what sense? I was rooting for Aljo in that fight, but I don't think I'm going to sit here and be like, yo, he wasn't going to lose. He got caught. Oh, we should have gotten a rematch. Is he confirmed not to? That kind of does suck if that's true. Is he confirmed not to? Damn. Then I would say yes, he should have gotten a rematch. Even though his career as champion was extremely weird, he was pretty dominant during it. Damn. So who's fighting him? Who's fighting Sugar Sean? Fuck. Cheeto? Okay, no, that actually makes sense. I get it. I get why they did that. That one makes sense. That makes a ton of sense to me, actually. Ooh! Oh! Getting fucking owned over here. All right, is this even winnable? Or are we just gonna eat shit? Is KM drunk enough to lose with his hand? Fucking maybe. Oh, right. I could just win. I could just win this game instead. That's crazy. You know, I am definitely drunk enough to lose with this hand. Damn, that's crazy. Should I snap it, chat? Do you think I should just be like, I got your ass? I'm gonna do it. Leave. 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 Holy shit. All right, that's terrifying. Still won, though. That Mr. Fantastic fucking... Goddamn. This guy right here scared the hell out of me. Came out of Camp Lehigh, though. I was like, what are you doing over here, dude? What are you doing over here, dude? All right, I'm going to remember to be a responsible consumer of alcohol and drink some water. I mean, this hand is fine. I'll play it. Yeah, we got the alcohol sponsor. MTG bot is drunk. Ayo. I feel like I'm dead as shit. But, you know, let's see how it goes. Oh my god. Okay, both of these. Okay, this goes left, and then I lose the tiebreaker. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm cooking here. Goes left, though, and dies. Okay, yeah, I was not cooking. My ass was not cooking here. Finally, a stream that speaks to me. The part where I was not cooking. The part where I was not cooking at fucking all. The part where you're drinking. Solid. Respectable. I'm gonna need this. Yep. Just letting you know. Putting you on notice about this shit. Start Spider-Manning the vats. Just doing weird shit to disrupt them. Get my free shit on the vats. Things like that. Alright. No Nico for you. Do get to blow up the vats, though. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yo, that Venom is 3. Yo. The Venom is 3, though. Got a null again. Love that for me. Love that for me. We have some plausible lines here. We have some plausible lines here, right? We got the Jeff that can go in the Sera lane if they don't get too much stuff in there. If they do get too much stuff in there... Oh, they got my Spider-Man. Shit. Okay, this, though, is winnable. Because we have Juggernaut middle and what's-her-face left. Right? So we got, like, Jug the middle. And then we got Shadow King Silver Surfer here. It's like vaguely plausible. Did you know this deck's worst matchup is actually my deck? I didn't actually know that, no. Ah, well, we died to that. A shame. We don't get close. Actually, it's unfortunate because we do get close. We get very close. But we still die to that. We still die to it. The old-fashioned recipe on the Howlerhead site looks good. Damn, that's crazy. We got people doing my shilling for me in the chat. That's my favorite thing ever, dog. That's my favorite thing ever. I love when people do it for me. Yes, I would like a guy that isn't on reveal card. Ew! I hate that. On the other hand, I do have like 2 Sentinels here. It's kind of interesting. Did you watch Woody's 1-cube comeback with this, though? I didn't. Used to work in bars for years. I see. On that note, dog, Spider Ham is farming right now. Spider Ham is going nuts. Spider Ham going insane. I used to drink at bars for years. That's crazy. No one's ever done that. So I'm thinking right now, my Spider-Man wants to be the last card played, but my Silver Surfer wants to be the last card played more. You have Axe Sera in gold? I don't. I go to bars for the mozzarella sticks. Dude, I wish I had some mozzarella sticks right now. Damn. I used to drink at parties for years. That's good for you. All right, so this is gonna... Scotch? I'm actually not a big Scotch guy. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm actually not a Scotch guy. I'm not old enough. I'm still wearing, like, okay. Here's your test for if you're a Scotch guy, right? Like, I'm wearing a Gucci Mane t-shirt. I don't drink Scotch. That's just how it works, right? Like, no one who fucking, like, it's just not, I don't know. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing. I'm wearing a fucking Gucci Mane t-shirt. I'm not out here drinking Scotch. Interesting litmus test for the drinking of Scotch? I feel like it's an appropriate one. I feel like that's like 100% appropriate, accurate measure. Like, you think most Gucci Mane fans drink Scotch? I feel like drinking Scotch to me has always been associated with, like, you are 35 plus, working in maybe finance. That's always the direction I've sort of seen it go. That's always the direction I've seen it go. Hit their Shadow King is Pog. I mean, we still get fucking clowned by this Darkhawk, unfortunately. We get fucking clowned here. I feel like we're getting clowned. Oh, we're so getting clowned. This hand's unwinnable. Even if we win this, the only way we win over here is if they just don't play enough units. Like, we just die every time to a Nihilus Demon. Wait, what if we don't, though? Okay, fuck it. We're staying in. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Oh, shit. I'm an idiot. Go middle. Shit! I think I'm gonna die. Had to go middle. Yep. Like I said, had to go left, chat. That's exactly what I said. It just had to go left. Not even a question. Always knew it. Oh my god, it's Mojo World again. It's fucking... We're back. Please get a copy of The Widow's Bite. Oh god, I want that more than anything. I almost wanted to keep it in hand and go for it. Location batching truthers where? Dude, I know. Yo! We're them now. We're them now. We're fucking cooking, dude. Alright, this is gonna be Ham, Craven, Surfer, Werewolf, Polaris, or Spider-Man. Most of them are pretty good. Ha! You fool. Pretty sure I win. Final turn of, like, Juggernaut, a bunch of shit. Seems like it's a plausible dub here. Killmonger blowing up the demon. Ooh, you know what? They can no longer play into anywhere. Okay. Okay, how's this go? This goes Killmonger, Juggernaut. Spider-Man? Or just go like this, and if they Eliath me. Eliath me, dude. Oh, my talent is off the charts. Oh, baby. That's some shit you hate to see. I'm talented. Yeah, they Eliath brained it. Wait. 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 Wait a minute. I just see someone tagging Joe Daddy. I was informed that this may happen, but I honestly didn't believe it until they mentioned it. Is this actually happening, Andrew? This is freaking me out. So for those who are unaware, Joe Daddy, that's Joe Stevenson. Winner of, I believe, the Ultimate Fighter 2. Like, MMA OG. And guy who, when he was a fighter, had exactly the beard I want to give myself, but I can't figure out how to. I'm working on it. I'm actually working on it. I did not and do not. Wait, how does this work? Okay, it's got to play it. Never mind. I did not and do not. Too bad chat keeps making you shave. Yes. You want to know something insanely gross, chat? And also Joe Stevenson, who I definitely don't want to embarrass myself in front of, but I'm going to anyway because I'm very stupid. Here's something insanely gross for you. I currently, right now, I shaved my beard into this thing right now, like, I don't know, a month ago. Actually, a month ago. And I snapped late. That's my fault. And the hair is still in there. I have not cleaned it up. I'm getting truthful. I'm getting truthful right now. All right, we got a gift sub to Joe Stevenson. This is fucking me up, man. Is No Shave November? It is. I shaved on October 31st. It was Halloween. Ergo. You thinking of putting it back on? Yeah. Ah, oh, fuck. I can't play the Spider-Man. Oh, dude, I'm fucked. Okay, so here's how this goes. He's going middle. If he goes to the left, I'm dead as hell. Ah! I got no problem with how long it's been, but why is it beside you? That's a great question. Shit. Wait. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm alive. I'm not dead. I'm alive. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So, with that order, it could have only gone left. Yes, if I hadn't been drinking, I would have figured that out. Is this as easy as magic? Easier, I think. It needs to go... Jeff needs to go left to protect from... What's his face? The guy. Eliath, that guy. Shit. Am I dead? I think I may have died. Goes 1 over, then 2 over. I might still be able to win. 9 coming over. 7 plus 9, we win by 1. Haha! I'm a genius. I'm a math god. Oh, fuck. Let's go. What experience do you have with Magic? Also, I said when I finished one of these, I would take a shot. So I did finish the Gold Conquest here. Clearly, I'm not drunk enough yet, but that's sort of a self-solving problem. Thanks to Howlerhead, the official flavored whiskey of the UFC, and the official reason that that win is probably the only one I'm actually going to get this season. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to take this shot. What I'm going to do, because I am a terrible drinker, is the shot counter up to date? Kind of. There's 2 in... I feel like I may have messed up the math. I figured this was 2. It might be 3. I don't really know. So I'm going to take this shot. And what we're going to do, we're going to update the counter afterwards. I'm going to make this face. I'm going to go like... And then we're going to be fine. All right? All right, I didn't make the face. It went down a little easier than I thought it would. You don't have a shot glass? So I dug through my cabinet for various shot glasses, and I ended up opting for style over substance here. I've got one that's shaped like a skull, which I felt like it would be very funny to do in this context. Like, just the edgiest possible fucking thing you can do. As edgy as it gets. And that's sort of where my head is at. Ooh, it's warm. Is that really Joe Daddy Stevenson? Apparently. Yes. As I understand it, the answer is yes. This was part of the sponsorship. He's not the only one. But since the UFC is partnered with Howlerhead, and the guy I went through this for is a like UFC guy, the only way that's not the real Joe Daddy Stevenson, which is how I'm going to refer to him the entire rest of the thing. I understand it's incredibly awkward to watch me call another man daddy. I apologize for that, but I'm going to do it. The only way it's not is if I've been absolutely fucking bamboozled and it's just a guy who somehow got access to the UFC office with 5 different Twitch accounts. That's the only other answer.